Thank you so much for taking the time to have this interview. I just wanted to ask you a couple of questions about your job.
All right, sounds good.
So, what company and industry do you work for, and like, what is your title?
So, Sahil, I'm into healthcare information technology specifically, and I work for Kaiser Permanente. My title is Solution Design Consultant.
Can you describe like what your overall job responsibilities are?
Sure thing. But before we get into that, let me give you a complete picture of where I would fit in, right? So, Kaiser basically has two um, primary areas of business. One is to provide healthcare. You must have seen the hospitals and everything. And the other area is offering health plans and insurances, right? So I'm into health plan and insurance, where they would offer members, different health plans to choose from. So now when we talk about health plans, um, the members can buy those from different spheres and fields, right? So those are for Kaiser lines of business. We can get members through different lines of business. So for me, I'm involved into members that we get through the exchange. When I say exchange, it's basically you must have heard about Obamacare, right,
Yeah.
in the recent years. So, because of that Obamacare or the Affordable Healthcare Act, people who are below poverty level, they are urged to buy health plans through these exchanges. And different states in California, they have their own healthcare exchanges. So people would go to that portal of their state, and they can choose a plan that they would like. They can apply for that, and eventually that membership would come into Kaiser or any other carrier, right? So for me, I am basically looking into that line of business for Kaiser. Whatever members would come in through state exchanges, right? And the membership, when it gets into Kaiser, how that would be processed, how the premiums would be billed, right? How the money would come into Kaiser, and how the healthcare would be provided back to those members. So to get that idea,
Yeah.
like how everything is fitting into the picture,
Yeah.
right? So I basically work very close with the IT teams and the business teams to make sure the solutioning that we are putting into place is efficient, is covering everything, and is scalable. So we don't have to keep um, tweaking the code every time there is some change being made in the industry or at the exchange level. We don't want to make those changes all the time. We have to make the solution very scalable on our side. So we just make sure, working closely with our stakeholders, that the requirements are well covered by the solution provided by the IT team.
What does like a typical workday look like for you?
So like I said, we work very closely with the development team and also with our business team to make sure the requirements which are put together by the business team are interpreted in the right way by the software development team, so that the solutioning is very efficient, scalable, and it provides the right amount of coverage. So for me, typically it's mostly meetings with the IT team and the business team, and yeah, I think that's how it goes.
What kind of skills is required to like do well in this job?
So first and foremost, I would say you have to have good analytical skills, right? Because once you take a look at the requirement from the business team, you really have to have that mindset to poke into those requirements and see uh, where it doesn't seem to be covering a certain aspect of the area that you are working in. For me, it's membership technology, so I make sure they are covering everything. So you have to have business domain knowledge. And then once you have that you build over years, whether that particular requirement is covering uh, the entire thing holistically, right? They're not leaving out any specific area. So you have to have good analytical skills. And one thing I would add is, you need to be a good team worker, because since you're working with both IT and business folks, right? You know how their mentalities are totally different, right? So you need to be a person who uh, can converse, really well with both sides of the business, IT uh, and the business side.
What are some things that you love about your job?
Since I interact with a lot of teams, right, I'm into membership technology and I'm also into the EDI space. So EDI is basically, like I told you, it's electronic data interchange. So not just for membership technology, even for other areas in Kaiser, right? We also process claims, right? Because after membership, what comes into the picture is claims. Once a member has a membership, right, he gets some care, and if a claim is filed for that, right, by the provider, he has to be paid back. The provider has to get money back from Kaiser, right, from the insurance company. So so EDI also covers that area, the claims and all. So we interact with a lot of different teams. So what I enjoy the most is just meeting all these people across different areas, different spaces that they are working in, and try to get to hear about different things that they are experiencing right in their area. So it's not just working in a silo for me. So for me, I kind of interact with a lot of different areas.
Yeah.
So which is good, in a way. You hear people ranting, and sometimes they'll be raving about some stuff. Sometimes they'll be like really mad about something. But it's good to learn about different experiences of people. It's not like only those 4 or 5 people working on something, and you don't have a different perspective, right, from a different area. So
What are some things that you don't enjoy about your job?
so I would say Kaiser being a big company, it's usually always the information, or you can say the instructions, they always follow just top down, because it's a big company. So somebody at a leadership level will decide something, and it starts going down, and you just have to follow that. So it's never or it's really hard, I would say, right, for something to go back up, like that I can suggest something, let's bring a change like that, like something that can make a difference. It will be really hard for that idea to go up higher and then be approved by somebody. So it's always like somebody at the leadership level will decide something, and everybody has to just follow that, whether you like it or not like it. In a smaller setting, you would see you have a bigger say in the scheme of things, right?
What skills did you have when you started this job, and how do they develop over time?
So when I first started, I just had like standard typical set of skill sets, right? I did some programming that I learned during my when I pursued my master's degree, or even before, during my bachelor's degree. But when I joined Kaiser, I had to learn the business side of things very slowly, because for me, insurance sector was completely new. I never knew how things worked, especially in the US, right? How the healthcare insurance market works. So it took me some time, sitting with people, talking to them, understanding, how things work, what is the business transaction flow, and what would be my responsibility, how can I make a difference in bigger scheme of things. So, but having that good analytical skill mindset, that really helped, where I could, really poke around things, and ask the right questions, right? Like how is specific thing working, and why is not this thing a certain way, and why is it being followed this way. So you just have to ask the right questions, and slowly over time, I think you build that business domain knowledge, and that helps you grow further in your career.
What's your work-life balance in this company?
So when I first started, I know I used to put in really long hours, but over time I realized, so if you have your day job requires you to work 8 hours, you have to accomplish what's assigned to you in 6 hours. You cannot take 8 hours to do 8 hours worth of work. You have to finish it in 6 hours, and then that means you're really well balanced, right? And then for me right now, at the stage that I'm at, I have learned how to finish my work in those 6 hours, and then keep the remaining time for myself, to just unwind and take it up again next day, and then figure out. So
can you tell me a little bit about your educational background?
Sure. So right after my high school back in India, I did my bachelor's in electronics and power engineering back in India, and after that I came to the US to pursue my master's in information systems. So I've completed my graduation here in the US.
What were your other job experiences before Kaiser?
Kaiser has been one place where I've spent almost all of my career. Back in India, I had worked as a trainee in one company right after completing my bachelor's. But since then, when I came to US, finished my master's, and Kaiser was the first company that I joined. So I used to be, I did a part in QA side first, and then I moved over to solution designing on the IT side.
Do you have any like online trainings or certifications that were like helpful?
Sure. So for me, since I'm specifically into healthcare information technology, what had helped me is getting online trainings in. There's a company called Epic that provides a lot of healthcare products which are used by Kaiser in their membership technology space. So I have done a lot of training in Epic tools and also in Oracle revenue billing, medical billing. So which is again specific to healthcare. So I've been doing a lot of trainings, and I'm looking at getting some certifications done as well, because this is kind of becoming standard certification and standard tools which will be used across all healthcare organizations outside of Kaiser also. So eventually this is going to become a standard, just like how you do Java or C++ and all. So in healthcare space, these Epic and ORMB trainings are going to be a standard set of tools that you need to use.
Oh, what are some of your hobbies?
Oh, this is, we do it together a lot of times. So, for fun, I like singing, I like listening to music, I like going out for drives, spend time with family, friends, favorite games, anything that's, where we can involve our friends together. Could be around music, could be around, playing some board games and all, or even, if the weather is good, we can play outdoors, some basketball, some cricket. Being from India,
Yeah.
that's always fun.
Oh, what advice do you have for kids who are interested in pursuing computer science?
Okay, so definitely I would say be a people's person, right? You have to be open, talking to anybody in the company, reach out, talk to them what they're doing, how they are achieving the goals that they have set, and then what you can learn from them. So you have to be an extrovert. That really helps, especially in the computer science field, because things change very, very fast. It's a very dynamic field. Every few months, we'll notice things are changing outside of your organization and even within your organization. So you have to be always open to different ideas, reach out to people, talk to them, and tied to it will be a team worker. So don't be a person who works in silo and just looking at yourself. Always, try to reach out and help others, or have others, feel comfortable reaching out to you so you can help them. So build relationships and be a team worker, be a people's person, and that goes a long way.
Yeah. Do you have any like general life lessons that you would give me to be successful?
I think again the same thing I said. Just feel free to reach out to people, build relationships, be a good team worker. Don't be shy in asking questions. Always, whatever you have in mind, be the first one to raise your hand and ask that question, because that's the only way you can learn, right? So never be shy, be open, reach out to people, and always be accessible as well. What you expect from other people, right? You want them to help you. Just be the person who will help others also. Once you have acquired a bunch of knowledge, just be that person who will you're going to share whatever you have learned with others too. So that always helps. It's always give and take, and it always helps you. You feel satisfied that you learned from people, and then you're giving it back to the people as well.
Yeah. Thank you.